Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Oh my good Lord, man. Trying to revive from the dead is not easy to do. There's a nasty flu going around, and it is trying to whip my butt. So I'm doing all I can to keep that from happening. So let's get back to Iraq, shall we? Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. Look, if you're thinking about buying gold and silver, go to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you follow that link, you won't need a promo code anymore. The promo code will be automatically attached to the link, so we don't have to keep doing this over and over. So if you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $200, you will get a free half ounce of silver along with your order. Also, I can be found on other platforms. Everybody knows I have my own website, Pimpy's News Network. Over here, I post videos that I can't get away with over on YouTube. Also, I have a group on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. Come on over here and join us. It's free to do so. You can also come follow me on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and Odyssey. The links for all these platforms will be down below in the description. So for whatever reason, if I get removed off of one platform, you could find me on the others. Also, yesterday I released a video with Gunther Sonnenfeld. He's the gentleman that actually worked on the QFS system, that actually worked with central bank digital currencies. I released his interview, part of it anyways, yesterday on my channel. So I encourage you guys to go check it out so you can hear what he has to say about central bank digital currencies, about the QFS system, and the whole 9 yards. All right, so it looks like Kurdistan and the federal government tentatively have come up with an agreement that Kurdistan will get 14% of the share of the budget. Again, it's not finalized, not yet, but they need to do something because the budget can't go forward without an agreement here. And we're right back where we started. Last year, they didn't pass a budget. March has already started, and they still have not passed a budget. And this is going to take a little time. So right now, tentatively, it looks like 14% of the budget will go over to Kurdistan. Central bank, there is a tendency to use cash machines and reduce the use of cash. The headlines makes absolutely no sense. There is a tendency to use cash machines and reduce the use of cash. Okay, as you can plainly see, Iraq is pushing their citizens to go cashless. Well, there's a problem. There are other countries already forcing their citizens into being cashless, and it has some ramifications. Let me show what I'm talking about. So riots are breaking out over a Nigerian city amid cash scarcity. So they started pushing their citizens toward a cashless society. The problem is over there in Nigeria, like 85% of their citizens don't use the bank. So how are you supposed to reach them? And what did Nigeria do? They said, this is your currency right now. You have until this time to go swap it in for a new currency. If you don't make it, oh well, you're ass out. Those currencies are no longer any good, and the government's not going to do anything about it. Which, if you think about it, this is good for the government, because the government doesn't have to do anything with that debt. And I'm talking about the debt in which these people did not come in and exchange their currencies. The government would just wipe their hands clean of that debt and go, oh, well, we gave you guys a timeline. You didn't get in there. So they tried that approach, and all hell broke loose, and riots started breaking out. And even when they did open up for some cash, guess what? There's scarcity on cash because they wanted to force these people into being cashless. And now when they decided, we better backtrack just a little, they weren't ready. They didn't have the cash available. So this is what I had anticipated. You're going to get these countries forcing people into a cashless society. They're not going to agree with it. They're going to show up like these people do with machetes and start saying to fix things. They want cash. They don't want to be dealing with the cashless society. So I'm curious to see how other countries respond. So we already know a couple countries responded this way. So heads up, if you're going to go cashless, be prepared for the negative results of people who don't trust the bank. And Iraq is definitely heading that direction. So the central bank confirmed today, Saturday, that the current year will witness a significant and tangible development for the banking sector, pointing to the trend to use cash machines and reduce cash. In other words, they're going to have a card. I don't know why they call it cash machines. They're going to have a card that they can use to do all of their business with, and you won't get any cash, is what they're trying to say. The banking sector is witnessing clear reforms that began with the pressure of external transfers and the assistant government of the central bank. In a speech followed by the NRT Arabic, noting that we are continuing reforms for all levels, is reform in electronic payments. The state's orientation in general is in the use of cash machines and reducing the use of cash in the process of exchange in the bank sector, which suffers from some old problems, noting that the central bank is continuing the reform process with these challenges that guide public and private banks that have an important role in meeting the needs of the banking sector. So here we go. Everybody's starting to get pushed into that cashless society. And they'll make every excuse why it is they're doing it. Now, they're going to have to do something to bribe the people, so to speak. So I'm curious to see how they're going to do this. He continued, he said, the current year will witness a great, noticeable, tangible development for the banking sector and the electronic payment process, pointing out that there are wide measures within the powers of the central bank, but also there is an important aspect on the ground that needs legislation, and therefore the issue of the exchange rate, which occupies all citizens, and its stability is reasonable for everyone. So I'm curious to see if they're going to use a new exchange rate to entice people to go cashless. So some of Al-Qadimi's officials have been arrested over the theft of the century, integrity, issuance of arrest investigations and seizure orders against a former minister of finance and officials of the Al-Qadimi office. Not Al-Qadimi himself, but members of his office. Said the Federal Integrity Commission announced the issuance of arrest warrants and investigations against a number of senior officials in the previous government on charges of facilitating the seizure of tax secretariat amounts. The Commission Investigation Department, speaking about the case, reported that following the emergence of new evidence indicating the involvement of a number of other figures in the previous government in the crime of stealing the amount of tax secretariats and the Second Kirk investigation courts, which specialize in integrity cases, issued arrest warrants and investigation against 4 senior officials in the previous government. So those arrest warrants went out to the Minister of Finance, the Director of the Prime Minister's Office, the personal secretary of the Prime Minister, and the immediate advisor of the Prime Minister in the previous government. This ought to be interesting. And you can see right here, they already seized the funds of the former Minister of Finance. So as I stated before, and I was concerned about, they're going to start forcing people to become cashless. How well it goes really depends on the citizens. If you really want to fight this, then you just fight it with all your will. Look what's going on over in Nigeria. They're not very happy about what's going on. And they're showing up and rioting over this. So I don't think this CBDC is going to go over as quickly and as smoothly as they thought, because many citizens in countries around the world are not banking with the bank. They hold the cash in their house, and that's the way they like it. They don't trust banks. And if you're trying to force them to use banks, you might get a real negative reaction over that. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. Let me know what you think. I'll get back at you later. I'm out.